today, General. It is Nick Ryder here from the BI Edge. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, if you're into data analytics and want to see how Power BI can unlock insights in the petroleum industry, you are in the right place. Today, I'm walking you through two dashboards I built on Queensland's natural gas reserves and operator movements covering 2016 to 2019. We have a little bit of data as well from recent in 20 to 25 as far as operators and titles go. We'll break down the data, spot trends, and I'll share how I created these visuals. Let's get started. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss more BI tips. Okay, so over here we have um, natural gas reserves by operator. This is all the natural gas remaining in terms of reserves in cubic square meters, I believe that is, cubic meters. MM3 is the code for that from 2016 to 2019. Now, over here, we have Santos Limited. We can see that they're dominating the natural gas reserves by operator throughout this period here, starting here at 4K, 4.9, 4.8, and then to 6.3 here in 2019. So still really strong reserves throughout this period, followed by Armour Energy, predominantly within the Surat Basin, or has a lot in the Surat Basin. So if I want to do a little comparison here now between Armour Energy and Santos, I can do that. So I just go Santos Limited over here, and then I go to Armour. Okay, so I do a side-by-side comparison there for the two. Okay, so I can sort of see, all right, this is where they are. Okay, so if I want to have a look at Santos, I can see here they've got a lot in the Cooper Basin, bit in Eromanga here, and I can have a look at the leases and I can have a look at the reserves there in 2019 as to what that was sort of sitting at in terms of natural gas. Okay, I've got the different fields here between these two operators that dominate the Queensland petroleum market. There's 295 fields, and that made up of 10.75K of the total natural gas production there. I think it was 11.2K overall in 2019. So these guys have got majority of the market between the two of them in Queensland as far as natural gas goes. If we have a look down here, we can see permit number, the operator. So, who's got what permit, what basin's it located in, what's the name of the field, is it producing over here, or does it still have reserves? Is probably the best way to sort of look at that. So this sort of brings a bit of an understanding here to have a look at how our reserves are going in Queensland. Now, we don't have more recent data here, but it's good to sort of use this data to have a look at past periods, and then as newer data becomes available, add it to the model, and then forecast future potential growth in terms of these companies, how much gas is left, what's happening to different leases across different basins. Okay, so what I'm going to look at now is I'm going to show you, you know, by basin here, Cooper and Bowen. So for the Cooper Basin, we have quite sufficient reserves here in 2019 or over this period. We've actually increased the reserves here. So that's really good. There's a lot of gas there. Bowen is quite strong as well. Now Surat and Eromanga, not as much, okay, quite sort of small there. So if I close this out, okay, it's 12.06K there. So yeah, Armour Energy and Santos, as I said, are the two big players there. AGL, if we want to have a bit of a look at them and how they're going. That's this one here. Okay, so, a long way behind. They've got 14 fields there, and we can sort of have a look at those fields and see sort of what reserves they had left in those fields. So East Glen there, PL 446, and had that for 21 years. Okay, cool. And then you sort of have a bit of a breakdown there. Okay, so there's some of those reserves across some of those fields are starting to dry up there. So that allows you a bit of sort of market strategy there when going into the petroleum industry. So we've got a total of 450 fields there. So that's quite a significant number of fields producing. Um, some of them would have dried up. Obviously, we'd have to work out the active fields as well. But this is just sort of a starting point here on how petroleum companies can optimize revenue and sort of have a look at scale and how other competitors in the market are performing. Okay, so I'm going to go next over here to operator movements. Okay, so this is just a quick dashboard here. We have this block size here. So this first dashboard that I did, it was all from the Queensland Government Open Data Portal natural gas reserves. And this data set here is the one that was connected to that, which was the Queensland spatial data set that I did in a previous video and converted through to a Excel file and then cleaned it raw data set in Power Query here in Power BI. And I did the same again for this one here that was cleaned as well. So this is a combination of two data sets. Those two data sets that I just mentioned connected together via a schema. That's how I can uncover all this information. So, that's all part of data engineering. Once you get into schemas, if you want to automate your workflow, you need to go find multiple external data sets. You have to extract the raw data, put it into Power BI, clean in Power Query, and then you connect in schema section before using DAX to get further calculations there to get a good kind of consistent informed model. Okay, so coming over here, total block size by basin, Bowen Basin is the largest there by block size. Okay, so we wouldn't probably have um, known that if we just looked over here. We would have thought, okay, well, Cooper could be probably the biggest because it's got the most reserves, but that's not the case over here. Bowen is, and Cooper's actually the third largest here. So Rat is bigger in total block size. So that sort of tells me, okay, well, within the Queensland petroleum industry, more operators are looking at going into the Surat basin for some more exploration here and some exploration opportunity. So once again, we're going to go down and we're going to have a look at Santos. Okay. And okay, where are they at? Now, these are all Santos too. So if I really want Santos, I probably have to, get their joint venture partners in there as well. So I've selected multiple here. Okay, so now I can have a look at, okay, what are the leases that they've got? The type of permit here, this tells me what else they're doing other than natural gas on these particular sites. Con gas, petrol, con oil, and it's giving me a combination there. What's the field name? All that sort of stuff. Okay, so that's important to know when doing competitor analysis or just trying to scale your own business that you might be working in. Now, Bowen Basin, we can see here it's pretty up there as well, pretty big. Cooper and Bowen for Santos, and then Surat, they've also started to move in as well there. Okay. Now this data is taken from a bit of a later date than what we had over here. So, if we look at Santos here, predominantly here, they're really focused here in the Cooper Basin. But if I come across, go over here, okay, and I want to just have a look at where the focus is here again. Okay, still got big focus here in terms of block size by basin for Cooper, but we've seen them move into the Bowen and Surat there. Okay. If I want to have a look at just Bowen, I can click on the Bowen up here, have a look at those lease titles and see what they're doing here. Okay, well, that's petrol. So that's probably why, because it tells me that they're doing natural gas in the Cooper Basin, but in some of these other basins here, they're doing the they're mining different sort of stuff, petrol, whatever the commodity is. So that's something there that is quite interesting that you can sort of compare. Now, what I did in Power Query was actually use some M code to calculate quarters here, because this tells you the approved quarter and the expiry quarter, approved year, expiry year. So if I want to look at, we'll start off just basic expiry year for this year. Okay, I know here that these leases are expiring. Okay, so that once again, that gives me a bit of insight as to sort of what's happening. A lot in the Bowen Basin is expiring this year, not much in the Cooper, and so forth. Okay, and if I want to look at, okay, what's the quarter? Okay, in quarter one, got 8.6 there. K worth of lease kilometres squared that's expiring in the Bowen, and 8.6 kilometres squared expiring in the Surat. Go down here and go, okay, well, in quarter two, we've got a lot expiring here, a lot of leases expiring here, and so forth. Okay, so that's something to sort of work on. Having the approved year and expiry year is super critical when identifying what's happening in the petroleum market, who's moving around on all the different leases, who's mining what commodity in what particular area. And this is why Power BI is so powerful. You can take multiple different data sets together, form these stories and these insights, and allow key decision makers and executives in businesses to make these informed, data-driven decisions. Thanks for listening to my video today, and I'll look forward to catching you in the next video. Cheers, guys.